This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 496 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible. Our sponsors this week are Horse Lovers and Grey Wall Equestrian. The rest of the story brings us a Gail Stewart original called A Stable of Marble. Mary Kitzmiller joins us with her first monthly spoiler-free movie review of Avengers Infinity War, and the HorseLovers.com product review of the week is Wintec Elastic Dressage Girth. Listen in. Howdy everybody, Glenn the Geek here, and you're listening to the Stable Scoop Show on the Horse Radio Network. Welcome back. We have a fun show planned for you today and a news segment. Of course, everybody knows Mary Kitzmiller listens to our show. She is a host of the training episode once a month on Horses in the Morning and a well-known trainer, Road to the Horse competitor, and a lot of fun. And she's also a movie buff. So starting today, we get a movie review for you, and she's going to come back once a month. Sometimes it'll be horse movies, a lot of times not. They're going to be whatever movies are topical at the time. We all go to the movies, and she's so much fun, and she knows her actors, and she loves movies. So we're looking forward to adding that to the roster. I did my surgery, shoulder surgery, and this is the first episode of Stable Scoop after that. Everything's going better. So I'm starting to get use of it back again. I'm out of the sling, and I'm very happy to be back here on Stable Scoop, bringing you some brand new shows, some brand new stories, and a lot of fun. Speaking of stories, we're going way back in time with Gail Stewart's first one, and the name is going to sound familiar to you. Well, the name of the Emperor. A Stable of Marble by Gail Stewart. This is one of the strangest horse stories in history, one that's been told and retold for over 2,000 years. In those days, around 37 AD, horses had a rough go of it. They charged into battle as war horses, then they were harnessed up for chariot races, the most popular sport in Rome, where they risked life and limb in the Circus Maximus. Built prior to the Roman Colosseum, the Circus Maximus was an oval-shaped track about 2,000 feet long and 600 feet wide, with two turning posts at either end. Up to 200,000 Romans gathered here to cheer on their favorite charioteers. Chariots are two-wheeled and pulled by one horse or teams of 2 horses, 4 horses, or 8 horses. They raced counterclockwise 7 times around the oval, with the sharp turns at either end. It was a dangerous business for all concerned. A free-for-all where horses tripped and fell, they got tangled in their harnesses, and they were trampled. Charioteers fell out all the time and died under thundering hooves and wheels. One day, Caligula, Rome's young emperor who ascended to the throne at the age of 24, made his way to Circus Maximus. There, a certain stallion racing in the harness and colors of charioteer Eutychus caught his eye. A big, strong stallion with fire in his eyes and invisible wings on his feet. The stallion held the most important and dangerous position of all in the chariot, the front and farthest left. It was his responsibility to make the precise pivots around the turning posts. If he swung too far out or clipped the post by swinging too close, the race and often the chariot were lost. This stallion was smart and sure-footed and knew his job. Eutychus and his stallion claimed the victory. Then Caligula decided to claim the stallion for himself. You may continue to race this horse, Caligula told Eutychus, but from now on he belongs to me. And so on that day, the handsome stallion became Caligula's. And it was his last normal day on earth before moving into a bizarre life on Caligula's palace grounds. Caligula was the great-great-grandson of Julius Caesar, and an enigma to everybody. At first, he treated his subjects kindly, and they returned his affection. Then things went awry. Young Caligula suffered a catastrophic illness, a disease that stole his sanity. He became cruel, deluded, and tortured and killed his subjects at whim. Conversely, though, he found joy in his new horse. He housed him in a stable of marble, fed him from a manger of ivory. He wore a blanket of imperial purple and a halter adorned with precious jewels. A legion of servants tended to his every need. He was made a Roman citizen, a senator, and a priest, and one ancient legend says he was given a mare named Penelope for a wife. Caligula arranged for his horse to invite dignitaries to grand banquets, at which the stallion was served oats with gold flake relishes, chicken, and even roasted quail. Alarmed citizens of Rome realized that Caligula's heaping of human honors upon his stallion dovetailed with his apparent decline into madness. Eutychus saw it too, and stayed loyal to his stallion, secretly sneaking into his stall to feed him proper food of good oats and grain, and the horse continued to thrive and win races. So what was the emperor's purpose in his behavior toward his horse? Did Caligula really intend to award him the title of consul, the highest level of political office in Roman times? Were the grand banquets hosted by his stallion elaborate jokes? The hypothesis has been put forward that Caligula's handling of the stallion was a royal ruse, designed to provoke the Roman senators. Others say it was a satirical play, comparing the Roman Senate to a horse, implying that a horse could do as well as the human senators. Caligula's erratic behavior and excesses wore thin. He ruled for only 5 years, and his own guards murdered him at the age of 29. In modern culture, Caligula is usually referenced as a tyrant, a cruel madman, while his horse remains a sorry figure. As far back as 1742, the stallion has been used as an allegory, a reference to political incompetence. He was the subject of a poem titled Caligula, written in 1974. In 2000, a radio program produced by the British Broadcasting Company told the story of Caligula from his horse's point of view. He was mentioned in the novels I, Claudius, and Atlas Shrugged. And what was the name of this ancient legend? A horse humanized by Caligula? His original name starkly contrasted with the life he was later to lead. It was Porcellus, which in Latin means little pig. This name, of course, would not do for Caligula, so he gave him a new name, which means swift. That name was Incitatus. This story was written by author Gail Stewart. She wrote the book 100 Horses in History, True Stories of Horses Who Shaped Our World. You can find that book and all of her other books at 100horsesinhistory.com. That's 100, the numbers 100, horsesinhistory.com.
It's product review time. My favorite part of the show, where I get together with awesome listeners who have volunteered to try out some nifty product that they're not familiar with, and then come on and tell us all about it. And with me this evening, Lisa Wysocki. You know her from The Opium Equation and other wonderful titles. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm great. Excited to be here.
Yay. We get to talk to you on the morning show pretty regular when you substitute host in when Glenn decides to take a sick day and things like that.
Yeah, or if Jamie's out, in Hawaii or some other exciting place.
Isn't that interesting? You sub for Glenn when he's sick, and you sub for Jamie when
she's either in California, or she's at a horse show, or she's in Hawaii, or that is an insight right there.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyhow, you volunteered to test out the Wintec Elastic Dressage Girth. So Tell me what you did with it, who wore it, and how you liked it or didn't.
Well, I'll tell you this. I love Wintec products. I think they're awesome. And so we put this girth on our draft cross. His name is Lex. He's I think he's 15, and he's a Shire Belgian thoroughbred cross.
Wow.
And he's amazing. And we liked the girth for the most part. I mean, it stayed in place, and it's easy to keep clean, which is really important here in the South, particularly as the summer's coming up. You want to be able to wash those girths and keep them, mold and mildew and sweat free. And so that was easy to do. They market this as a stretchy girth, and it's not as stretchy as you might think, because the stretchiness is kind of like on the inside of the center of the girth versus on the ends where we're all kind of used to.
Huh.
Yeah. And but the horse seemed to feel comfortable. Lex seemed to feel comfortable. And I really I just don't like to use a girth that doesn't have some kind of stretch in it. I just think it helps the horse breathe and not feel like, they're being cut into. And, if I were a horse, I'd want to wear a stretchy, elastic girth. And he seemed comfortable, although, just in inspecting it, it doesn't look like it's all that stretchy and it doesn't feel like it's all that stretchy, but I think that it is. So it's kind of magic.
Magic. Now, the neoprene this is made out of. Neoprene comes in many, many shades.
Yeah.
Is it the sticky flat kind? Is it the waffly kind?
This is kind of a waffly black. Okay. And, it seems like it's very comfortable for Lex. And, even though it's waffly, it gives pretty even coverage. So you're not getting like waffle marks on your girth.
No waffle prints on the pony. Yeah.
No. And, and granted, now it's been winter and it's been colder. So we did not try this product in July when it's 102. It's cooler weather, relatively speaking, but we've been really, really happy with it. And once you got past that, this is a stretchy girth that doesn't seem all that stretchy, then it's great.
Now, does it have roller buckles on the buckles?
Yes. It does. And it's very easy to use. And, you can just pull it up onto the billets. It comes off, doesn't stick like some of the other girths might. Sometimes you're trying to get those buckles and they're just sticky, and it comes on easy. It comes off easy. We really do like it. I just like, and I think we're so conditioned to see stretchy ends on things, on girths, that it's kind of a mind shift.
Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. I also have this exact same girth.
And do you like it?
I do like it. I have also used Wintec products for years.
Yeah.
And the design stretchability of it is a learning curve. I agree.
It is.
I try to think of it more as it helps you not over tighten the girth. When you snug up the girth and put it on your horse, make it snug. And then when you sit down, it has a little bit of give to it. So I try to use it as if it didn't have elastic.
Yeah.
I snug it as if it didn't have elastic, and it seems to work out perfectly. And personally, one of my favorite things about the Wintec girth is the quality of the stainless steel buckles, because I live in Florida where everything rusts and molds. And the stainless steel is really good quality, and it holds up and doesn't pit and doesn't rust. So
and we're not far behind you here in Tennessee on all of that rusting and because it's so humid here. And that's another reason why I just in general like the Wintec products. We've had some Wintec saddles that we've had forever, and we have 4 very diverse therapy horses. These Wintec saddles are the only saddles that fit every single horse. They're amazing.
Well, there you go.
They're amazing.
There you go.
They're really good, and the Wintec products hold up. And I would expect that this girth would over time hold up really well, just like the other Wintec products do.
There you go. The Wintec elastic dressage girth. Yes, it's elastic and it's hiding on the inside. It is available at horselovers.com. That's horselovers with a Z.com as we record this review for $44.99 in sizes 20 through 40.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. They make a really giant dressage girth for really giant horses. And thank you very much, Lisa Wysocki, for
you're so welcome. Yeah, we're just happy to be here.
The upcoming movie review is brought to you by Greywall Equestrian. Greywall Equestrian is dedicated to providing top-quality products from everyday essentials to something special for the show ring. Greywall offers items for both horse and rider, including turnout blankets, tall boots, grooming tools, leather halters, hunter jumper and dressage bridles, paddock boots, and much more. Every item they carry has been selected by knowledgeable equestrians and horse riders just like you. The staff at Greywall Equestrian makes sure the equestrian tack is tested and inspected to ensure you get the very best quality and experience. Plus, they provide 100% money-back guarantee. Find Greywall products at your local retailer or visit Greywall Equestrian at greywallequestrian.com. That's GREWAL equestrian.com.
He only ever had one goal. To wipe out half the universe. If he gets all the Infinity Stones, he can do it with the snap of his fingers. Just like that.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
Well, now we welcome Mary Kitzmiller to the show, and hopefully the first of her monthly movie reviews. Now, these are not all going to be horse movies. This could be new movies that are just out. You know, horse people do see other movies, right, Mary?
Oh, yeah, I almost exclusively see other movies.
See?
But I do. I get in the horse movies, too.
Mary is, of course, host once a month on the third Thursday of the month of Horses in the Morning. She does a training episode with us. She's a well-known trainer in Texas, does many, well, right now you got, 2 Mustangs going for the Mustang makeover. So she does many things, but what a lot of you may not know about Mary is she loves movies a lot, and it really goes into depth with them, and she's going to be joining us once a month for the reviews. And what movie are you reviewing this week? There's only one, right?
Yeah, there's only one that matters, and that's out right now, and that is Avengers Infinity War. This is part 1, which came out last Thursday. And I saw it a few days ago, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Now, let me qualify with everybody. This is going to be spoiler-free. We're going to make sure this is spoiler-free, so you don't have to turn it off.
I'm going to try my very, very best.
I'll beep her if she goes too far. Okay, I'll beep her out.
Exactly.
So, what do you have to say about this movie? Because I've been seeing some reviews, and they're all over the place on this one.
Yeah, I think the movie was as good as it could have been. This was a tall order, and Marvel has done this very well before in that you are balancing so many plot lines. You're seeing the culmination of the last 10 years, 18 movies, all mashed into one. It's like over 2.5 hours long. You've got over 25 characters in the movie, and most of them are very important, have very rich storylines. And so they balanced that, I think, as good as they could. It does feel a little bloated at times. My favorite characters did not get nearly enough screen time.
Who are your favorite characters?
Well, my very favorite character is the Winter Soldier. Something about a deadly assassin is very appealing to me. So I like him. Of course, I like Captain America, Black Widow, all your favorite Avengers. I really like them. I think Thor's character is really great. I think his last movie was the best Thor. They finally got the tone right on that. And I
agree with you there, by the way, with the last Thor movie. I think the first couple Thor movies were almost too dark, and the last one, they added some comedy to it, and they let him be him. And it was better.
Well, that's the thing about Chris Hemsworth is, of course, he's gorgeous. Probably the most beautiful Avenger, and even over Black Widow. But yeah, the first Thor movie was good. I thought it introduced that character really well. Second one was just a miss for me. The third one, they took a page from Guardians of the Galaxy, made it really cool, retro, funky, and just a ton of humor. And it showed just how funny this guy is, in addition to being like ridiculously good looking, which it's just pretty awesome.
And he's been known for comedies in the past. He's a good comedian. He's good timing.
Yeah. And a former actor on, Saddle Club.
Ah, right. Right.
Yeah. Just a little trivia. You work in the horse angle.
There, we covered horses today. We're good.
Yeah.
Are there any horses in Infinity War?
No.
Okay.
No horses in Infinity War.
There's other creatures, but no horses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, you've got a lot of characters. You're juggling a lot of stuff and plot lines, and so that was the big con for me. Was a lot of my favorite characters maybe had 2 lines. You kind of wondered, well, what are they even doing here? And at times it felt more like a Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2.5 than it did an Avengers movie, because they had a lot more screen time, they had a lot more plot, and of course they were responsible for delivering all the humor in the movie, which I thought the movie was hilarious at times. Really good with your quick pithy one-liners that kind of broke up the drama and monotony and made you laugh, which I thought was really fun. But yeah, not enough Captain America, not enough Winter Soldier. But again, that's going to be the problem when you're balancing so many plot lines and everything.
Well, let me guess about the plot. It's a Marvel movie. I've not seen it yet, but it's a Marvel movie. So there are aliens that are going to destroy the world, and they have to save it.
Yeah, that's the general gist of it. So they've been alluding to this the last several movies about Thanos, who's the big bad in this one. And, the gist of the plot, not really giving too much away, because if you've seen the movies, you've seen this coming. He's trying to collect all the Infinity Stones, put them in his little magical Infinity Gauntlet glove, and, destroy most of the universe.
And that's Josh Brolin, right? That plays...
who really, really good. And for a giant, completely CGI purple alien character, he was very human at times. And you almost, when you have a bad guy who's just evil, like I'm bad and I want all the good guys to die, it doesn't, you don't feel invested. You don't, you've got to add some humanity, even though he's an alien. And so it really showed you what his motives, however skewed they were. He just didn't want to go blow stuff up for the sake of being evil. So I thought that was really good. I thought Josh Brolin did a really good job. And this plot is one that they actually borrowed a lot from the Thanos storyline in the comics, which occurred around the early 90s. I think it's a 6-part series. And they improved on it because his motives in the comics were really, really bizarre and not just kind of a weird. He had really weird motives for wanting to do what he did. So they changed that up for this movie. I thought it was pretty terrific how they handled that. I know a lot of people weren't, who I've talked to, weren't really invested in the whole Thanos thing. They thought it was a little Thanos heavy. But again, if you've seen the movies, you've seen this coming. He's made cameos in a few of the other movies. He was the one who sent Loki to attack New York in the original Avengers movie. And so this is where it's all culminating. This is like the Voldemort of this storyline. And so now it's like, this is the battle. It's much more than just the world at stake. It's the universe at stake. And so that's why you've got all the characters coming together and trying to stop him.
Now, of course, this is coming off of one of the, the number 3 movie of all time with Black Panther. And I assume that Black Panther played a role in this one. And I hope that to see his little female attack force who are wearing the red outfits, because they are hot.
Yes, he has a big part to play. One of the big battles is in Wakanda. So that was probably one of the best scenes in the movie, is when you actually see characters fighting. It's not just, we're going to set this up, we're setting this plot line up, where it's not just exposition. This is where it's like, okay, he's here, we're going to kick some butt. And that involved a lot of the Black Panther cast. And I actually have not seen Black Panther yet. I've heard a lot about it.
You've got to see it.
I know, that's what I've heard.
I think it's the best Marvel movie yet. I've seen it twice. I just think it had storyline. It wasn't just all battles. The story was good. The whole thing was just well done. And of course, it's a very female empowering movie because the Black Panther's whole army is females, pretty much. So, his guards are females. And I think you're going to see those little red outfits on every girl at Halloween and the Black Panther outfit on every boy at Halloween. It's my prediction.
And they did have they had as prominent a role as they could have in this movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to balance so much. So that was one of my favorite scenes, was the ones involving Black Panther and his army.
Now, how about my least favorite character? I'm going to get emails about this in the whole of Marvel Universe is Spider-Man. Was Spidey in this one?
Yes. And I tell you what, so of the few Marvel movies I haven't seen, Black Panther being one, which I will remedy that as soon as I possibly can. Spider-Man, I did not see. I saw him in Civil War, which is where he kind of first makes his debut as Marvel's Spider-Man, not the Sony version.
Right.
And so I did not want to see the Marvel Spider-Man just because I've seen so many Spider-Man movies at this point. I know more about Peter Parker's origin story than I do about my family history.
Yeah, right.
So I just couldn't watch another Spider-Man. However, he was terrific in this movie. It was really good. They play him off of
That's
Tony
Tom
Stark.
Holland plays that now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's, of the Spider-Mans I've seen, he is the best cast because you had like Tobey Maguire, who looked like he was 40 and in high school.
Right. Right.
And Andrew Garfield I thought was really good and really funny, but those movies just weren't good. They didn't do they didn't do him justice. So I do think this is the best Spider-Man, and he has I don't want to give anything away, he has a terrific scene in it, very good scene. So yeah, I thought he was great in this movie and ended up being one of the characters I got really invested in.
So what would you give this movie?
I would say a solid B.
Okay. What was missing?
It's not that anything was necessarily...
Or was there too much?
Yeah, you have 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Was there a bathroom break? Was there an intermission at all? Because I'm going to be going to the bathroom 3 times in 2.5 hours.
Yeah. No, I just made sure I didn't get a Coke at the movies or else I would have missed most of it. But yeah, I think a B because if you're a Marvel fan, you've been invested in the movies, you know where this is going, or read the comics, you kind of know the plot lines. I think you're going to love it because, you're just invested. You know what Marvel does. You know that this has been coming. So I think you're going to enjoy it. I actually went with someone who has not seen a Marvel movie before, and that was interesting because I was worried that she's never seen it. She's not going to know, who's doing what and where, because some characters are on for a few minutes and then they're off, and then it jumps to another universe, and then or another galaxy, another planet. And I was worried she wouldn't be able to follow it and sit through it for 2.5 hours. But she actually really enjoyed it. She laughed along. It was really funny in parts. I think if you're not as into the movies, you'll probably... I would definitely not recommend this be your first one to watch. I would
because
get started on
even Marvel fans go to some of these movies, and I've watched them all, and I go with Jennifer, and I go, now which superhero? What's he do again? Because you just
this was sort of like watching Game of Thrones and like getting in on it on like the 5th season. And some character shows up, you don't even know their name, and you're like, why is this person
now,
important?
Who is Gamora again, and Nebula? What does she do? And it's like...
Yeah. And the Guardians, like I said, this feels more like a Guardians sequel than an Avenger movie, because the Guardians play some pretty big parts
Please
in it.
tell me Groot. Is it Groot or Baby Groot?
It's Teenage Groot now.
Oh, Teenage Groot. Okay, good.
Yes, so he's got his face in a game controller, and he's rolling his eyes, and so he's going through puberty, and it's just kind of a little turd most of the movie. But very
That's
funny.
perfect.
Yeah.
I still have I Am Groot, by the way, as my text ring on my phone. Baby.
There's a really
Baby I Am Groot.
interaction between Groot and Steve Rogers, which is very funny.
So who's the Marvel? So we'll get off of the movie a little bit. Obviously, if you're a fan, you're going to go see it. So thank you for that. But who do you think of the superheroes that has not had a movie yet that you would like to see have their own?
Well, Black Widow has been...
Oh, Scarlett Johansson. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a movie of her either, to be honest. I mean Black Widow, not... Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Who was in The Horse Whisperer to tie horses back
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, she has to have her own movie. She not just because she's a badass character and she kicks butt and all of this, but her backstory is so rich. You could do a prequel and just get a really cool espionage thriller type movie going. I think that would be phenomenal. Just because he's my personal favorite, I would love to see a Winter Soldier movie. For the same reasons, kind of a cool character. Plus, you have all this backstory that you could go and explore. And actually, he and Black Widow in the comics have a history.
Right.
So even them in a movie together where he plays second fiddle to her that'd be my dream Marvel movie to get made.
There you go. I was looking through the list, and there are some of these that I just you will see. By the way, no matter which one of these, whether you see Black Panther or this one, you stay through the credits to the very end. I mean, the end. The bitter end.
Unless you're an amateur.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, you definitely stay. I know the amateurs always leave, and it's like there's two, in Black Panther, there's 2 Easter eggs coming.
What I think, without having seen Black Panther, what I think is Marvel's one of their 2 best movies in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And the directors of that, the Russos, actually directed Civil War, which I think is one of Marvel's best. And they've directed this Infinity War Part 1. We have Part 2 coming out next year. And that's another reason why the movie wasn't like everything I hoped it would be, is because it is Part 1 of a 2-parter. And if you've watched any one of these bloated trilogy series movies where they break up a story into 2 parts, the first one's always kind of, it doesn't feel finished. You're dying to see the next one. It's just a launch pad into the next one.
And that's
so
the reviews I've seen have said this one will leave you hanging.
Yes, yeah, it'll definitely take some turns that you weren't expecting. It does have a different feel. I almost felt like I was watching Star Wars at times with this movie, because they did a lot of cutaways. And I almost expected him to do that kind of crazy fade in and out that you see in the original Star Wars movies. The score felt very Star Wars, and when they'd end up on a different planet, you'd see the name of the planet come across the screen. It just felt Star Wars-esque.
Well, this sounds good. Thank you so much, Mary, for joining us and chatting a little bit about the newest Avengers movie. Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
And, of course, you can find Mary and all of her work at marykitzmiller.com, and also on Facebook. Just search for Mary Kitzmiller. It's Mary Kitzmiller Horsemanship, right?
Yes.
All right. Very good. Thanks, Mary. We'll see you next month. Go see another movie.
Okay, will do.
Well, that wraps up this week's show. We hope you enjoyed the movie review and the story this week, as well as we hope you continue to enjoy all of the product reviews that Horse Lovers provides. Also, special thanks to Grey Wall Equestrian for being a sponsor of our movie review this week. We have other shows, lots of them, 17 others. Maybe this week you could just try a new one you haven't tried before. Just hit play on the app. Go to Horse Radio Network app, iOS or Android. Download it. It's free. It's easy. And hit play on one of the other shows. If you haven't tried Heels Down Happy Hour, that show is getting very popular. It's very unique, and it's getting very popular. Of course, I'm over on Horses in the Morning every morning, 5 days a week. We'd love to see you there as well. Thank you, everybody. Remember, stablescoop.com, and keep on scooping.